Talk on That Talk official podcast, where we have comfortable and uncomfortable conversation. I am your host, Juice, aka The Ordinary Brother.
All right, all right. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite show. I go by the name of King Exodus. As always, we appreciate your time. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you share the video, share the live. All righty. One quick thing we want to tap into before we get it going. It was just announced a couple of days ago that Apple recently hit 3.2 trillion, I believe, in market cap space. So shouts out to that company. They've been doing tremendous things, especially over the past 2 to 3 years, despite what's going on in the economy. So for everybody that's invested in stocks, everybody that's tapped into like majority of the ETFs that kind of control everything, index funds, S&P 500, Apple is pretty much majority, you know what I mean? So Apple is doing their thing. Shouts out to Tim Cook. As somebody said earlier, yo, Tim Cook for president. But we've seen a lot of great things happen. I believe Microsoft is roughly maybe like 2.5 trillion in market cap space. So the crazy thing about it is we have companies within the U.S. that have a better balance sheet and that are doing better economically than the country in its entirety. So while the country is over 32 trillion in debt, we have companies in America that are thriving and doing things. So shouts out to Apple.
Oh, man. It's a beautiful time to be an Apple user. But listen, one thing they always say is, listen, don't just be a consumer of a product, buy the stock to it. Always be able to put something back into your pocket as well. If you're already into the what they call the web, the cloud system, where you always buying every Apple product, everything Apple launches, hey, listen, make sure you buy the stock as well. One iPhone is about 3 stocks, maybe 4 now. So also a little brief news. I don't know if y'all noticed, some of y'all have. Instagram now is competing with Twitter. You know what I'm saying? We're still reading the ins and outs of it right now. It's a whole different platform called Threads. It's getting pretty interesting. Elon Musk was running his mouth, and Mark Zuckerberg responded. That's the beautiful thing about competition in business. You have a chance to duplicate something, replicate something that somebody else has, but also tweak it to your liking to where you can overthrow your competitor if you do it well.
Yeah.
So, but I also be careful with the terms of uses from, what we're seeing right now is like, listen, if you get into the Instagram thread, if you delete something, you might have to delete your whole Instagram at the same time. I think he's locking y'all in, man. Hey, listen, I think he's a genius.
What Elon is doing when it comes to social media platform, Mark is just doing it 10 times better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same thing with the blue checks. Mark did it, took it to the bank. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a thing that we're seeing going on. And I think within roughly 6 to 7 hours, the supposedly Thread had amounts like millions of people already.
About 30 million users right now. Yeah.
I
I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. All right. Tonight's topic, this wasn't even like a long strategic move. This was like instant, you know what I'm saying, jump on that shit, like boom. You know what I mean? So I'm chilling one night, like I normally do. I'm cooling, you know what I'm saying? It's late night. My phone rang. Juice call. I got to answer because I can't call him back. Hey, that's another story. You know what I mean? So they get on the phone, and he told me about this whole Keke Palmer thing. He sent it to me on IG. And instantly, I was just like, wow, this really just happened. So we like, yeah, man, it's crazy, blah, blah, blah. But the conversation continued to go further. And he was like, did you read the comments? And just the first 5 blew me away. So I kept reading the comments, and it just got crazier and crazier. People brought up religion, marriage, insecurities, control. And this came from men and women. So as the day continued, scrolling on Facebook, different feeds, everybody just had a lot of negative things to say about what transpired. So for those who don't know, Keke Palmer was out and about. Usher was performing. She had on a see-through dress, with a little bit covering up under it, whatever, what have you. doing her little sexy thing.
Hmm?
And she was all on Usher, like all on him, just right there, just close, waist to waist, you know, hip to hip, face to face. Usher singing to her, she going crazy. So the guy that she had a baby with, they're in a relationship. He responded. He went viral, just pretty much shaming the incident, saying that that was inappropriate behavior for a mother, for a woman that's in a relationship. And of course, social media took it to shit. Social media went crazy. So now this guy is insecure, negative, controlling, uh, irresponsible for not marrying her. All these things because he went viral on speaking his mind. And of course, he's wrong for bringing it to the public as well. So tonight we're gonna talk that talk. We're gonna have that conversation. Gloves off, ladies. Gloves off. All right. You got it, Juice. You got it.
Oh man, listen. I was just chilling, y'all. I was relaxing. Just happened to be on social media for a second. I seen it. I said, "I'll be goddamn." Um, One thing, like I said, when I was watching the incident, I was proud of the brother. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be proud. I was proud of him, right? Some people felt like he should address that situation privately. I am a person who believes in public correction and private correction. Some things have to be addressed on a basis that is going to change you. If you're always doing things in a private manner and nothing's being changed, it's because it's not effective. If you do things in a public manner, sometimes when there's more eyes on you, you will correct yourself and then be like, all right, I see what I'm doing wrong. Like I said, you just got to understand what's going to work in that situation and when you're dealing with other individuals. Now, I said this time and time again. People are going to do what they want to do. And it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you got, nothing of that nature. One thing I did know, Keke Palmer was going crazy during that pregnancy. She was like, "Man, I got pregnant. All of a sudden, my skin didn't cleared up. Oh man, I done got some ass now, some hips." I was like, all right, hey, that's what's up." And somebody had mentioned postpartum stress, and I was just like, "Bro, there's nothing about postpartum in that picture or that video. That woman is happy. She is having a good time. Wearing a little revealing. I thought it was, the see-through dress." And I always said to myself, listen, what your woman does in public is going to reflect your whole relationship. I say it time and time again. Your family as a unit is a brand. The Obamas is a brand. The Clintons is a brand. The Russells is a brand. Whatever you want to call them, you're a whole brand. If one person is falling out, they're going to look at it as that brand becoming weak, or are you allowing it on the basis for exploitation? We can talk about No Jumper. Like I said, Adam 22 let his wife do a solo quarantine with another man. His views has been going down. He said he might have looked at it in time and let me capitalize and exploit it, and he decided to proceed. So, and one thing I want to say is I'm actually proud of the brother because this is the situation where the man has morals, meaning where you have a woman that usually have the finances. Most men won't ever pretty much speak their mind in fear they'll lose that relationship. But he put it all out there like, listen, cover yourself. You're a mother. You didn't have my child now. Hey, listen, you don't need to be doing this. You're tied down. But I digress. I'll spice it up when it's time, round two.
All right. So let's do this. The first thing that caught my attention, and this would be like a catalyst to a bigger conversation. Are you single and so married? Right. So that was the first thing that was brought up from men and women. It was like, okay, how can you tell her how to act in public if you didn't put a ring on it? So, marriage, right, is a unit between two individuals that come together to create family, which creates a brand, which is a business play, right? So, I mean, I don't know nobody that goes to a job interview and don't put their best foot forward. Like, you don't go to the job interview half-assing, late. You know what I'm saying? Like, you give them the representative while you're in the interview. And maybe in a couple of months, maybe the first year or two, some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, let the representative work the job for quite some time. And then once you feel like you locked in, you probably got a level up in your position, increase in pay. Then you kind of start coming in 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. You know what I'm saying? Dress code starts slacking a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Used to be a go-getter, then you're like, I get to it when I get to it. feel me? Like you lock, you in there, right? Why isn't the same approach taken in relationships, especially when it comes in this conversation, women? You know what I mean? Like your best foot forward is a prerequisite before you getting married. You can't say you're completely single until you're married, or you're not a wife until you're a wife because you are a wife prior to being a wife. That's who gets married. Wives. The ring don't make you a wife. The mentality that you have and the potential that you have and the actions that you show and exhibit is what solidifies you as being wife material before you actually become a wife. Now, I'm not saying one move alone takes her completely out the wife conversation, but what I am saying is that it does not make sense for men and women to say, since she's not married to this man, even though they have a family, y'all gonna give me in my Kevin Samuels bag. You see, once you reproduce with somebody and you're still in a relationship with that person, bro, that's a family. I don't care how you want to toss it up. Whether we got to the paperwork part of it or not, this has most definitely the potential, if not mandatory potential, to become official. But within that process, this still is what it is. So people play semantics with these words. Like a man can't say, "Oh, he came over here, he approached my woman, he slapped the shit out of my woman, he disrespected my woman. Hey, but she's just my woman. She's not my wife. I'm gonna just fall back." So it's a lot of double standards going on here. You know what I mean? Like men cannot say, "Well, she's not my wife, so anything happens to her, hey, I'm not gonna pay for the dates. I'm not gonna pick her up. I'm not gonna protect her. I'm not gonna do anything. Hey, because she's not my wife. We're just boyfriend, girlfriend." That shit does not fly. He's not husband material, right? So same thing applies here. It is crazy how people play around with these words. You know what I'm saying? When marriage becomes applicable to the conversation and when it's not. And then when marriage does become applicable to the conversation, well, then it's like, well, does he pay all the bills? It's like, you see how the shit just keeps shifting?
The
So
goalpost keeps moving. The
if
goalpost
the
keep
man
moving. The goalpost.
has a baby with the woman and then leave, he ain't shit. If you have a baby and stay, then, well, he didn't marry her. Well, if he marries her, well, then he don't pay all the bills. Well, if he pays all the bills, well, are they living a luxury experience? Like, it just doesn't stop. So at some point, for a community that cries and complains about black family this, black family that, black men don't do this, when we do get these situations, can we ease up a bit? Can we appreciate these type of situations when they do come before our eyes and stop being so specific and particular on how perfect we want them? You know what I mean? So I digress a little bit. Well, one more thing before I digress. It's going to get hot in here tonight, right? So
Damn.
social media had a meme. What's the guy? Chance the Rapper. He was getting danced on at a carnival or some shit. Some shit. You know, half naked woman dancing on him, and all the women was like, "That's fucked up. He got a woman at home. He got a family. That's cheating. Blah blah blah." But when the woman go out and have fun, you know what I'm saying? She's the naked person, and then she's paying all this attention to the guy. Then it's, well, you know, she's just having fun. She's enjoying herself. You know, being a mom doesn't tie her down from fun. You know, so there are a lot of double standards here. You know what I'm saying? If a bro go out, he go to a strip club, that's like execution, right? Like he can't do that, right? Because he's a guy in a relationship. So there's plenty of double standards between what a man can do in a relationship. He can't look at another woman, can't think about another woman, can't look at another woman on TV, can't look at another woman on Instagram, can't do nothing, can't like a picture, can't do nothing. But this is okay. So you got it.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a hell of a round two, man.
Rap on tonight.
Hey, goddamn, man. I'm just ready. I feel like I should let you talk now, man. Goddamn. You took some of my talking points, man. I don't even know what to do right now, man. But listen. Those are like a lot of key things that we always talk about within relationships, especially with engaging in one. That's why people like to, like I said, self-important titles is the most. Like I said, I believe some of that shit is just the most stupidest things in the world. Because if you give yourself a title that you haven't earned, then it's like, what the fuck, right? Like, what's the representation behind it? I know women who call themselves wives and never been married, and I'll be like, cool. It's certain things that you have to put into the experience, you know, the longevity, the resume, the reputation, all that build up to your relationship skills and how you're gonna move effective with another person.
Mhm.
Um, like he said, it's weird that if a man wants to tell his woman to stay covered, he's insecure, he got little dick energy, you don't control that woman, you don't own that woman. I was like, well, goddamn, if a man marries that woman, then it's, hey, listen, she's still a woman. You can't do that either way. It's her body, her choice. I like, listen, just being a man, just say like you got to accept anything the world tells you to do. And I think that's the most stupidest shit ever because then you're setting your kids up after you to take shit, eat shit, take shit, love the shit. And I'm like, nah, bro, there's got to be some boundaries and limitations that set into place. That's why one of the main things we always preach about is stop like following people who are celebs on a higher upper echelon and think that's okay for you to do at the same time. People get cut, snipped left and right all the time. And like I said, bro, I really respect the brother from actually speaking out. On a financial standpoint, listen, every woman I ever met in my life who had a higher financial standpoint and status than the man they were dating, they always felt entitled to certain things uh, within that relationship. I know some felt like, hey, listen, I'm paying all the bills, shit. I feel like I'm entitled to cheat. I'm entitled to step up. Gabrielle Unions talked about in her first marriage. I'd have met a couple women in my real life that said, like, listen, I was doing everything. I felt like I should be able to do that. Corinne Steffen, Superhead, setting it out. She said, I paid all the bills. I would tell my husband I'm going out of town. And he'd be like, go ahead, baby. I'll see you in a little. I'll see you in a while. I was like, what the fuck? Like, these are things where we talk about where if a man's in a position and he's in a financial position and he step out, it's just, hey, the man's cheating. He's doing the wrong things. But if a woman does it, someone would be like, well, she is doing all the load. She's doing everything. She's cooking, cleaning, and doing the financial load. Like, really, he's the woman in a relationship. He just needs to listen to him. But I did see some strange relationships just off of status alone. Education alone is another thing too. I know some people who are more cerebral dominant to a point where I'll be like, bro, stop falling for that shit. Yeah, I was like, if a brother who can talk to me about saving the world education and he can't tell me why his life is not together, fuck him. I'm not listening to him. I was like, there's certain things that people know how to push and pull your butts once they understand your character, also your personality, and they can just leverage it anytime they want to. But like I said, this situation here, I don't really even know what to think, man. Listen, did y'all see how Usher was looking at him? Nobody talk about that though. Usher said, that boy, he at the mic, he said, hey, listen,
Yeah.
all I know, man, he might not have been singing just on that stage. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Yeah. And boy, hit that glue later on. You know what I'm
I'm
talking
saying. Yeah, he
about?
double take. Look, she turned around. He's
I let's do it like this. So one of the comments was about postpartum and maybe she was feeling ugly and she needed to feel sexy. Look, it's not a thin line. It's a great big space between sexy and just taking it too far if you're a woman in a relationship and going out. It's a very big gap and a big distance. Like a man know if he just get in a relationship with a woman, let's say they still live separate, he know it's gonna be things he gonna have to give up. He cannot do everything he did when he was single and now he got a girl. You know what I'm saying? That continues to increase if they move in together. Now he's gonna give away more of his freedom because they're in the same space now. You know what I mean? So now that little curfew, all these different things come into play. The amount of time that he was probably already sacrificing to talk to his friends and family and everything else just to answer every call, no matter what, even the calls that ain't came through yet, he answered those too, right? That's going to increase when they move in together. You know what I mean? All these things continue to increase. So men know the deeper they get into a relationship, the more they sacrifice. You know what I mean? So why is this not the same when it comes to something as simple as just an appearance? I mean, like it's very simple. You feel me? So there has to be some type of. There's nothing wrong with mothers and women in relationships looking attractive and looking sexy. There's nothing wrong with that. But there has to be standards and boundaries. You know what I mean? So, like I say, the biggest thing to me wasn't the dress, but if you couple the dress with the action, it was just like, damn. So, and then another point I kind of wedge in is the fact that people took offense that he went viral with his response. He took it to social media. I don't know where y'all from, but if something is done in the public, then it's already public.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really like a big emphasis on keeping it private on the approach because it's already public.
Yeah.
It's not like none of this shit never hit the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of double standards. Now, when I can't, Umi Idoku, whatever, the ex-Boston coach, now the Houston Rocket coach,
Shout out
when
to
he
that boy.
it went viral, right? And I was even one of the people that's saying, okay, he can issue a public apology because it went viral. Other people felt differently. That's neither here nor there. But same thing applies here. It's already viral and open to the public. You know what I mean? So it's nothing that can really be kept private now. So if that man would have went out and cheated on Keke Palmer in the public or did the same thing in the public, it's already public. So however she responds to it, people are going to say, well, she's justified because he wronged her in the public. So you really just can't have it both ways. You really can't. So there's nothing wrong with that man making a public statement about it or posting about it because it was already public. So that's just words to the wise. If a man humiliates a woman in public, no matter what, he's the devil. Like it's for life. Like he's a fuck boy. You know what I mean? City boys, he's that. Why is it not the same energy? And some people want to minimize and say, oh, well, she didn't do a lot, she didn't do this. Humiliation and embarrassment is what it is. Same thing happened to Steph Curry when his wife was seeing an attractive dude come on a TV show. She was trying to pretend like she was taking her ring off and all that. It's like if you're in a relationship with somebody else, you don't have to show an open lust and attraction for somebody for the opposite sex so strongly. Now, if the person now with you and they cool with that, y'all could be like, hey, look at that person together, or if you a dude, you can be like, hey, look at her ass, babe. Oh yeah, she like, yeah, that's right. Hey, that's cool. That's y'all relationship, but that's not what's happening here. So you got it.
Man, listen, bro. Every time I got something, you just come with it, man. I don't like this, man. You know, I don't know what's going on right now, man. I don't know if I got the truth with this stuff, man. God damn. But one thing I was going to talk about that you just said was, like I said earlier, like addressing things public and private, it has different impacts on individuals. And one thing, I actually, like I said, I'm happy the man did it because this is the thing. Y'all seen how bad men get dragged in public by women all the fucking time. Nobody says anything how women drag men. He a deadbeat, he a loser. They can completely lie on this man. He's just supposed to keep quiet, keep it manly, not respond to it. Keep it, keep it private, keep it professional, keep it masculine. Man, look, bro, listen here. I'm not one of those people. I'm not too above a lot of situations in my life yet that I'm not going to address you on social media if you do it. I'd rather pull you to the side in public, but at the same time, I don't mind being petty. And like I said, most people want to say like, "Yo, he's wrong for the situation." I said, "Listen, he stood his ground. I'm sorry, bro. He stood his ground. He didn't say nothing derogatory. He said, listen, you're a mom now. Basically, you have my child. We need to be making a better image and impact on what we're doing and what we're portraying for our kid, our child." Now, one dude was like, like I said, the dudes in the comments was the most hilarious ones because there a lot of dudes was just pandering. I have never thought it would get to that level, right? One dude was like, "Listen, you should have dated baddie." I forgot what it was good. Like this is, this
You can pretty much deal with like baddie behavior. You
yeah,
picked
you
her.
can't deal with baddie behavior, and I was just like, "Yo, this is insane. This is the type of." I said, most men who talk like that I even met in real life, they be miserable in their relationships. As much as they be yo, babe, you do whatever. I'm not insecure. One thing, if a man gotta always pitch he not insecure, I'm telling you, he's gonna be insecure. You don't have to pitch certain things that you already not are. So the free, like I said, one of the biggest thing in relationships people nobody talks about is wardrobe has been one of the biggest effects in relationships. Nobody wants to address that. Everybody like, no, it doesn't matter. It's no this. Listen, if my woman wears a two-piece and we're at the pool, I'm not gonna trip. If she wears some lingerie and we at the house and I got friends over, I'm a motherfucking trip. You know what I'm saying? It's all about your placement of wardrobe at the
Mhm.
appropriate time. We don't talk about that, man. You got to wear the right wardrobe for the right situations.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's like me. That's like this is crazy. Like man, I'm leaving it on. I'm leaving it on right there. Like I said, y'all gotta learn how to wear the appropriate wardrobe for the right situations. Um, let's go back to how what's what's her name? Derrick Jackson's ex-wife. She still was talking about, hey, listen, I'm still in this marriage. I'm not gonna talk anyway about this man. You could look at her way she dressed. She's like, yes, I still dress this way. It's just me. I was like, but nobody talks about how that's white goals, right? How she addressed the situations, how her wardrobe was, how she kept herself clean, how she didn't run in social media. I was just like, man, bro, this is kind of crazy. But hey, listen, that's just me. That's just me.
Um, Tackling this whole notion that this word freedom, like it's a loaded word. Uh, how many of us actually can say we got freedom? We wake up in time to go to work. We go to sleep in time to go to work. We shower, eat. We do everything based on our jobs. Nine
Mhm.
times out of 10, if you're not on social media just for bullshit likes and you chasing whatever you chasing, you promoting a brand or a business, none of that says freedom. You make money, you pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like you follow rules, laws that other people don't have to follow.
Mhm.
Like case in point. I mean, I ain't trying to take y'all left and right. R. Kelly, they say he a menace. He got locked up. J.P.
Mhm.
Morgan just paid $290 million to Epstein victims. Ball dropping. Like, so fuck your illusion of freedom. Like, the more you get into a family structure, freedom goes out the window because now it's about the brand. You can't have both. This whole illusion of freedom is what's killing me. Yo,
Mhm.
if you're a father, and let's say you come from a background, I don't think it's appropriate for you to, dress like, pants sagging, uh, you know, like you doing your normal hood activities and you got your kids with you. You're a father right now. Like, if that's what you want to do when you don't have your kids with you, I mean, I'm still kind of on the fence with that. But the more responsibilities you have in your life, the more you switch up your image to fit your responsibilities. You
Correct.
know what I mean? Like, you get pulled over by the police. Like you black, you black. All right, you can't change that. But if you just thug the fuck out, they're not gonna see a father, a businessman, an entrepreneur, an employee. They're gonna look at what they do. Black man, that's a negative. Thugged out, another negative. Boom. Like, what more do I need to do? I'm gonna lock you up and kill you. So I'm not trying to go left and right with it, but same thing applies to motherhood. Like, when you become a mother, yet alone a mother that's still with the father, yes, there is a dress code attached to that. This whole notion and illusion of freedom kind of goes out the window. Now the freedom, like you said, is expressed within the household. You want to feel sexy, you do it in the household. There's ways you can do it outside the household, but there's certain things that's exclusive now, right? That's a big word.
Exclusive.
Exclusiveness.
Exclusivity.
So exclusivity. I always twist exclusivity. You know what I mean? So men have to be exclusive in just the dating phase.
100%.
The relationship, if she just like you, you got to be exclusive. Y'all ain't even establishing that, right? So there's a lot of double standards with this. A lot. So one of the comments, somebody brought up God, right, with the whole marriage thing, and I'm like, it's like they put the blame on him. Like, well, you wasn't thinking about this before you put a seed in her, my brother. They even said to my brother, boy.
Morals. They even said morals. Like if you had morals, you would even did it. You would have got her married. They're like,
So I'm like, so they didn't have sex together? Like that was all him? Like you know what I mean? Like, so
Well,
she didn't disobey
that's
God?
what I said it,
Like,
man. What do I say? If the seed is planted, it's still his fault for doing.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he put the seed in. But
yeah,
what I'm saying is, it's like when it came down to it, like, okay, cool, bet she can still do what she's doing after she did what she did, quote unquote, against God. He did what he did, of course, against God, and now he got to suffer till he correct it. And it's like, well, that's trash. So it's just amazing. And these same men that speak on this shit, if they're not pandering, I
Amen.
think psychologically, I think this is the effect. Y'all can hate me for this. I don't care. This is sometimes the effect of men being raised by women too much. They start talking like that shit.
Mhm.
It's nothing masculine about what they saying. It's nothing logical in a man's world no more because they starting to talk like that. Like
Mhm.
it's a woman's voice coming through their mind and lips and everything. Like it doesn't match up. So you can clearly see how a lot of these men was probably raised by their mothers and grandmothers and everything, who had all the freedom in the world, no curse, did whatever they said. Everything is forgiven because they did it, you know. So that type of energy transfers into relationships, whether you know it or not. If your mama was never wrong, your auntie, your grandmas, if they was never wrong, they can walk on water without any type of prosecution at all. Well, when you get into relationships with women, a lot of times men still think the same way. The woman is never wrong.
Yeah.
So you got it, man. You got it, man.
Man, listen, when he said like these men think like women, me and him was reading the comments on the
So,
phone. I'm like, man, these niggas not be around me in real life. I don't want to be none of these people around me in real life, bro. It's gonna make a difference. I always say, listen, I cannot work with an emotional man. I cannot work with a pandering man. I can't because these are certain situations where we're trying to get things done. Like I remember we had a Captain Saberho around me one time, and we was trying to get a lot of business things done. He kept thinking appealing to the women that were around us while we was trying to do business was going to be the thing, right? I'm like, hey, listen, so we're going to be able to execute this by this day. I'm going to need this person do this person do this. I have at least $300 personally capital. I need people that's going to be able to put in. And then randomly, this guy would be like, well, what about the women? I was like, bro, it's a business. We're all doing it together. What are you talking about? Okay, there's one situation slide. So there we go. Here, that situation. All right, somebody else is in charge. I'm not talking to son. As I'm listening, I always pay attention to men's eyes when we do business with women because I can tell if they're focused on the task or they're focused on the woman. So here he goes again. Well, like, hey, listen, so and so hasn't been able to give their opinion or views, and it was like we just paused for a second. Like, okay, well, let's let them talk. They was like, no, I'm just here. I'm just here. And I remember like walking up to the dude when everything was done. Was like, yo, what's up with the shit you doing, dude? Like, this is not making no progress. This is not getting anything done. You're so caught up in wanting to appeal to these women because you might like them, but they're still on the task of wanting to get shit done themselves. You might be looking out for them, but they're looking out for the overall objective. And that's a lot of people don't do. They don't focus on the overall objective. They focus on individualism, making sure everything's equal, everything's fair. Cool. Some people just want to get the shit done. I'm one of those people, very much so. Uh, now going back to something you said. Everybody wants to keep throwing out marriage. This is one of my personal opinions. What I have seen, what I have witnessed, and there's more. For what I've read, from what I studied, the minority versus the majority, you have situations where if a woman is more so leading in a relationship on a financial level, some of them will have your kids 100%. Maybe some of them are not looking to get married. This year alone, the last 2 years alone, I have watched more celebrities, more women in the industry say, listen, I am perfectly fine with having a child and not having the father around. We don't talk about that. Nobody addresses like, yo, why would you want to have a kid and not have the father around? Well, if I got the money, well, I'll be able to do it by myself, right? I brought up the situation, having this conversation earlier with a couple other people. I said, listen, ASAP Rocky has two kids. He got one more kid on the way with Rihanna. If they want that shit to happen, it could have been happened before bringing another child into wedlock. But do you think she's looking to get married as of right now? All right, then. I kind of rest my case. So with Keke Palmer's situation, if that man has something of that moral complex, like he says, we don't even know if he brought up that situation of marriage or not. We don't know. But we're not going to start leveraging certain titles and not understanding what's going on overall with individuals. Like I said, before I proceed in any relationship, further on, like, hey, going from the talking stage to the dating stage to we're in a relationship stage to like we're gonna get engaged in marriage, I'm guaranteed shit is gonna have to check out. Or things are gonna check off in that checklist, or I'm gonna check out of that relationship. Point blank.
Check off. Check out.
Yeah.
Check off.
Hey,
Check.
you know, check off. I'm gonna check out, bro.
Pick. You said something very, very important. You know, back in the gap, a man's money used to bring about power. Nowadays, a man's money is just money. Like, there's no voice behind it. It's just money now. So that's just something I want to throw in there on the whole. Like when people get into like the traditional roles of men, like now it's just money. Like it's not even money and power. Now his money is a necessity, but his power is still non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So I like my little comedy skit. Shouts out to Country Wayne. I keep it brief. So in the skit, it's a guy whose ex started dating his business partner. He played around with her, whatever. She started dating his business partner later. So he ended up starting back hitting the chick. So they started back doing their thing while she was still with his business partner. And him and his business partner is boys. You know what I mean? So the little thing they had going, it kept going on up until this man proposed to her in front of the guy. She said yes. Immediately, she went to his house the next day and was like, look, from this moment forward, I belong to this man now. I'm going to have to stop what we got. It's just like, that's not an honorable thing. That's trash. Because let's keep it real. If the man knew what you was doing prior to that, he wouldn't have married you. So I just want to throw that in the mix. How people had a whole single until married mentality and all that. Like, and this, you know, sometimes men just kind of do what they do regardless, like married or not. Like that's one thing about man. Like man gonna get married. If that's what he's into. That's what he's into.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on top of that, he can be responsible and be quote unquote a good man in other areas. You know, like you have some men say they're terrible husbands, but great fathers, like great providers. You know what I mean?
What is
But
that,
this
Martin
whole
Luther
notion,
King? Oh shit, man.
yeah, but this whole notion that women can do whatever prior to the marriage and then cut it off when the ring comes because now it's something like that's trash.
That's trash.
Both men wouldn't marry you if they knew what was really going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what you're saying is wrong unless you get caught, and then you know.
Pretty much it. Or you confess like a dumbass.
And a woman not gonna do that. All right, so let's keep it going. It's a big difference between being sensual and being sexual, especially over-sexual. A lot of women like to entangle those words together. There's nothing wrong with a woman being sensual, being in tune with her body. You know what I'm saying? Being in tune with being sexy, but being over-sexual is still just that. It's hypersexuality. It's not the same thing. Being naked and being sensual, it's not the same thing. Nowadays, you got a lot of like spiritual women that's into all these different things, and you know they talk to you about all the chakras and all this stuff, and then in another world they popping pussy, like you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't match up. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a stripper and a holistic healer, and then you can't combine all that. That's not being sensual and free. That's two different worlds. That's the same thing like a man saying, you know, I'm a dope dealer, I'm a killer, I'm a gangbanger. I run a successful business. I'm a loving husband and father. Like eventually he's gonna die, go to jail, lose his business. Like he's not gonna live all of those lives in one lifetime. Y'all seen what happened to
I was just
Ghost?
about to
I
say, y'all know what happened to Ghost.
Oh, yeah. I rest my case. You can take it somewhere else.
Man, listen, I got nowhere else to take it. Like you said, you can't live multiple worlds and think that's still gonna be okay.
You got to pick one.
It,
Pick two. Yeah.
it's like I said, man. If anything, they say marriage is a business. You're a brand now. So even in a relationship, people look at the progressive stages, right?
Mhm.
From when the business is formed versus when the business is launched. That's how, you know what I'm saying? That's really your relationship when you meet somebody, that's when it's getting formed. Your business is getting formed. Once I go public, your business is getting launched because everybody's watching the creation of that, right? And then when you have your kids, they're part of the umbrella of that business. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm doing too much business for y'all right now. I don't know if I do too much business for y'all. But that's literally just how things are. You have an umbrella from the business. Like I said, you have businesses that crumble because relationship falls out. But at the same time, or you want to call sister companies, partnerships. You can look at it as co-parenting at the same time for that broken business. I'm trying to mend that together, but hey, I wish my kids were okay.
Man, one of my last points. A man expressed his feelings. He got clowned. He got drugged through the mud.
Mm-hmm.
This is why a lot of times in the world you get what you get from men. Like he expressed himself, he expressed his discomfort. Like in retrospect, he also showed his feelings for her, his concern. That's what women say here. We want you to tell the whole world how you feel about it.
You love
Don't
saying,
hide it. Show the world you care. He did that. He got clowned for it. So now when you get what you get, if you get men to do the complete opposite, that say, "Hey, fuck my feelings. I'm be a savage." You know what I mean? I'm on my real shit. Like now you get this type of energy, and now you see why. Because there's a lot of men out there that live that type of lifestyle that say, "All right, that's why I would never do that shit."
right.
That's what happens when you settle down. They do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you get what you get based on that type of energy. But it's really sad that a man expressed his feelings and he got clowned for it. But we already know if the situation was reversed, how it would have went down. Um, I guess I asked this question. Um, do you see a race issue with this? Do you see more black women feeling this lust for freedom while still being in relationships and or being married versus other groups? Or is this like a woman thing? Is this an American thing, a woman thing, racial? Like, tap in on that.
Honestly, I want to say it's more so becoming a woman thing. At first, I was looking at a race thing years back, but I realized it's starting to affect multiple key groups now.
True.
I seen, like I said, the minute I'm not gonna lie, the minute it affects at least two of these cultures, the Arabs and the Asians. I'm sorry, bro. That's when I know some shit is fucked up now. Because to penetrate those type of communities where they're traditional, that the men do this, the women do this, and now you got people like, no, I want my freedom no matter what. You know, you posted, I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. When those communities get penetrated, it's a whole different story because we have known those communities to always have a longevity of relationships on how family is. They preach family every day. These are the same family. These are the same family individuals that be like, listen, um, daddy and mama raised me. They did a good job. So when I get older, I'm gonna take care of them. It's the reversal. But when you actually start having a separation of now the kids want to, when that family bond gets broken up because woman wanted to be more liberated, she wanted to do her own thing. The the East is now blaming the West for why uh, some people in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and others, it's affected their marriages because now the women are looking at the women back in the West and like, well, I want my freedom too, because now they feel like that's what they want. And once they got out of those relationships, they're looking like, damn, so this is what it's like to be on my own. It's like you got your freedom at the end of the day, but yeah, I think that's more of a woman thing, bro. People more so want like I said, they want the traditional man, but they want the freedom to do whatever they want.
Okay, okay, I see. And yeah, so, she had a baby. She wanted to see if she still had it. Yo, men go through that every day. We want to know if we still got it every day.
Huh?
So if a dude just shoot his shot, it's a lot of times seen dudes shoot a shot, get a number, get a social media, never contact, boom.
Never
He
contact.
still lose the relationship. He just want to know if he still had it.
Still got it. Well,
Don't work out, but it never works out for him. So
what's my guy name, man? He was talking about the trophy fishing. Just going out there,
yeah, just
catching the trophy,
something gonna bite on your fishing rod.
hey, showing it off, just to let you know I still got it. Throw it back in the water and
Throw
go
it
about
back.
that day. And go about that day, but
He be in court the next month. 401k gone. Child support paperwork signed. You know
I
what I
see you get a number. Listen, I was just seeing if I still got it, baby. I just wanted to see if my hook was still good, my
mean?
bait was still good. You know,
Right.
I mean that's how I got you. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted,
Sure.
Hey man, hey, listen, man. That's the crazy part, bro. Women want men who can get other women, but
All right. Last question. For the record, who do you think is more territorial, and especially in the negative space,
oh,
men or
okay.
women?
You see my eyes lit up right now.
Men or women?
Wait, what's that?
That's a question.
Who's more territorial?
Yeah, men or women?
You know what? That's crazy. I have to actually think on that now.
Okay.
That's the crazy part. I have to think of it. When something's mine, I'm very possessive. I don't give a fuck about it. But I just seen more women become possessive, but still want they're possessive over certain things and not the overall. So
You just answered it.
yeah,
Man's territorial. Yeah. Okay. So safe to say, women have become more territorial these days. Yeah, I'll close it off on that. Even on TV in real life, I've seen women be territorial over men while they have a man and
yes.
try to pick out another man. Like that happens a lot. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
So when we use that N word, narcissistic behavior, we got to reevaluate the terms and the definitions of the word and who we aim at towards based on gender. So you ain't got nothing else on this.
Man, I got
Single
yeah.
married, Palmer, Usher, nothing. Okay, cool.
But I do want to say this, man.
Okay.
Why is it bad to be possessive though? Why do people look at that as a bad thing?
I say it's just like anything else. It's how you use it. It's what you possess over, and it's how you use it. But if you out here just trying to control everything, you know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Or if it's only like you want to control, but you don't want to be owned. We hear that a lot. You know what I'm saying? You don't own me. We hear that a lot. You want everything else. You want the last name. You want the entitlement on paperwork
You
to
want the
his
ring, you want the
everything.
wedding, you want the big ass house, you want the
But
cars.
no one owns you at the same time. Like that's problematic. Problematic. You can
Let me
control him,
let
but
me
he's gonna ever pay a car note on a car, never own it, never get the title. He's gonna continue to pay mortgage on the house, and that's it, and taxes and everything else. But he never owns the house or the car. Yeah, that's
be honest with anybody watching right now. I'm very possessive. I'm very possessive. I'm not gonna lie to you, love. If you got a problem with it, I'm not gonna be mad for you. You want the freedom? Just don't talk to juice. Just don't do
you know. Hey,
it. Don't do
yo.
it.
I mean, you
But
want,
yeah, man, that's it, brother. We ain't got to promote.
all right, cool.
Pushes out any longer.
All right. It was a great episode. I liked it. I don't care if y'all liked it or not. Nah, I was just fucking with y'all. Hey, most definitely, we appreciate y'all for tapping in and watching Talking and Talk official podcast. Up top, we got no ordinary brother. I go by the name of King Exodus. Tap into that YouTube link in both of our bios. We on TikTok as well, Talking and Talk official. Y'all get those follows up on TikTok. We start going live on TikTok as well, giving it to you on different platforms, the whole live effect. We appreciate y'all for watching, and we are out.
Hi, y'all. Peace.